You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Micah Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And welcome to the WBT with Michael Lodge. This is another podcast. Every Tuesday I come on this podcast and I do Political Tuesdays. All the rest of the week I talk about business and taxes, and on Tuesdays I dedicate to politics. And today it's dirty politics. I want you to know that if you are listening to what the Democrats are saying and how they are wringing their hands and moaning and groaning and crying and now quoting the scriptures of God about the immigration issue that we have with these children coming across the border, don't believe them at all. Every single time where it's time for us to cast our vote, they bring up two issues. One, immigration, which they screwed up back in the Clinton administration on this issue we have with the children today, and then racism. Two things. But on these two things, they never do anything about. Back when Bill Clinton was in power, the Democrats passed this law on this children and the separation of families. Janet Reno implemented it. The problem is that this has been a problem ever since the Clinton administration, all the way through all of the other presidents. Mr. Bush, Mr. Obama, and yet it was happening in their administration, but the Democrats remained silent because it fits into their political agenda of condemning the other side for doing nothing when the Democrats created this law themselves and refused to do nothing. They refused to sit down with the president. They refused to sit down with the leadership of the GOP. They refused to sit down with anybody. And now Schumer wants the president to make an executive decision to help these people. The problem is that Obama did this without going through Congress, which was against the rules of the laws of this land on immigration. That's why President Trump took that executive order away, because it had not gone through Congress. Immigration laws have to go through Congress. The president does not set laws. It is the Congress. The Congress failed back in the Clinton administration, and they have failed every single year, and they have done nothing about it. During the Obama administration, where all of those children came across the border, the Democrats said nothing. They did nothing. But now, all of a sudden, when they're trying to hold and trying to get seats in Congress and the Senate, they bring up this issue of immigration and separation of families when they are the root of the evil. We have an issue here because we cannot believe anything that is being said out there. And let me give you a good example. There are approximately 12,000 children sitting in detention at the moment, being very well taken care of by the United States government through our taxpayer money. 10,000 of those children came across the border without a parent. without a parent. And we're having this big scolding fest by the Democrats, the liberal Democrats, about families being separated when 10,000 of those children came across without any parent whatsoever. Zero. Don't get brought into the Democratic political agenda because it's corrupt right down to the core, because they're trying to get more people elected into the Congress and into the Senate. But they're not telling you the truth of what actually is happening out there. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. They expect us as the American people, the one who are paying their salary, to believe what they are saying when they are lying through their teeth. They say they care so much about this issue but have done nothing about it since the Clinton administration until this point, up until the time now where they're trying to win back seats. And if Americans fall for this lie, then they're stupid. I would be stupid. Me, Michael Lodge, would be stupid to fall for tricks of liberal Democrats. We have an immigration problem. But if the Democrats refuse to sit down and address the problem, nothing will get done. Year after year, election cycle after election cycle, the Democrats sit there and stand there and spout out all of this nonsense just so that they can get their seats back in the Congress and in the Senate. It's all politics. Immigration is just a political agenda for the Democrats. And yet Americans fall for it every single time. How stupid Americans are we when we keep falling for lie after lie after lie. If you want to sit down, if you want to correct the stupidness of yesteryear politicians who are still and by the way, they still hold their office. Pelosi still holds her office after she voted for this law. Schumer still holds his office after he voted for this law to separate families. Adam Schiff still holds his political office even though he voted for this. But they do nothing to correct it. So how stupid are we as Americans to believe a lie when they refuse to sit down and correct the issue? I think we Americans are much smarter than this, because I know in my conversations as I travel across the United States, and as I have these conversations with people, between New York and California, people in the middle see what's going on. They understand the lies that are being told them. They understand that the data that is given to them is so screwed up and is so filled with misinformation that they've had enough of this. And when politicians use a specific subject like immigration for their political agenda to get back seats, when it's a false narrative, and if you vote for that individual who keeps spouting that nonsense, then you're doing damage to our country, to your communities. I'm neither Democrat nor am I Republican. I'm right in the middle of the road and I'm independent. I see good things from both sides as I present them. But as an American and as an independent thinker, I think things through for myself. I go and I look at the data. I look at what is out there that is available to me to look at to support my views, or to sway me to look at it in a different direction. But I'm not falling for political agendas of the Democrats. I'm just not buying it. Because if you see a people who say that they care so much about immigrants but do nothing about immigrants, or do nothing to help immigrants, or do nothing to help make a system much fairer and more advantageous to my country, I'm not going to listen to those Democrats. Now, there are some people on the Republican side, too, that are falling for this thing. And they're stupid. Get to the real facts here. It's all about politics. It has nothing to do about the immigrant. Has nothing to do about DACA. Has nothing to do about any person that is trying to get into the United States. It all boils down to one thing, and that is politics and power. Politics and power. The Democrats want their political power back that they have failed so miserably at in the prior years. From the Clinton administration until this very day, we are still following the laws that the Democrats enacted in Congress and signed into law by the President of the United States, Mr. Clinton. And yet people are marching in the streets and they're all upset because they're falling. They're falling for a false narrative. Enough of this, people. Come on. Why should we have to go election cycle after election cycle voting in people who are so stupid that they use a false narrative and they expect us to believe it? The Democrats have had their time to fix this. They've had their time to help individuals who are trying to get into this great country of ours and have done nothing to fix the immigration problem or the immigration system or policies. Instead, they sit by the sideline and they tell lies. They push their political agenda because they want their power back. And if Americans continue to listen to this nonsense and vote political agendas in instead of the real meaning of our democracy and of our country and of our laws and of our Constitution and our support of the rule of law, if we don't vote those kind of people in, then we are going to do much greater damage to this nation. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're independent. Think about this immigration issue under the terms of logical thought, of common sense. If you've got 10,000 children sitting in the United States immigration detention without any parents here in the United States, and the Democrats are pushing their political agenda of the separation of families, when the families of those 10,000 people are back in their country because they sent these children across the border through human traffickers, where they made these children almost criminals because they crossed into the United States illegally. Those parents in the South American countries and also in Mexico who have done this are slime. Because they chose to be separated from their families. They chose that. Those 10,000 children, the mothers and fathers, chose to take the risk and separate their families. They made that choice. So we have 10,000 children, approximately 10,000 children sitting in our U.S. immigration detention without any families here in the United States. So we're paying for their lodging, we're paying for their food, we're paying for education within the immigration system. We're paying for all of this just because the Democrats will not sit down and fix the problem with the Republicans or with the president. Instead, they have chosen a political agenda of hate against the president, and they have chosen a political agenda of immigration, but do nothing to help immigration. So their focus is so hateful towards America and our immigration system that now we are at a political we're at the time where people are going to vote for individuals to go back to Washington, D.C. to represent us. And if we put the wrong people in power that are pushing a false political agenda, corrupt political agenda, then we as Americans have to take that responsibility. Because we're doing stupid things and we're putting stupid people into office. When is America going to say, okay, enough is enough? Let's get our country back on track. Let's fix our laws. Let's fix the corruption that's in Washington, D.C. that we see. We have got to do better as Americans, and we have got to take back control of our political systems and of our government. Because we've got people in government and in our politics that are out of control. They're so far out of control that they're doing great damage to our nation. So on this Political Tuesday, I really want you to really think about what is being said and done about immigration. Right now, Speaker Ryan is willing to push through 2 immigration legislation that is amnesty. Call your congressman and senator and say, we do not want a law that has amnesty. We want a law that fixes the problem. Amnesty is just a for sale sign that says, come on up to America because we'll have another amnesty sale in 10 years. Come on in. Come on in illegally. Cross that border. Because we're going to have amnesty in another 10 years. And then another 10 years after that. And another 10 years after that. But we never fix the problem because we've got such weak politicians that want to make it political, but they want to do nothing. We've got to put a stop to this. This is Political Tuesday with Michael Lodge. If you have any questions or concerns, just send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com, and I will answer them as fast as I possibly can. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
I'm staring into your blue eyes. We don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and save you. Oh, oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend, and call me anytime when you're out of tight and you. I got you. You got me, got me. You got me, got me. You got me too. Got me, got me. I've been saving you. You save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need it too? 'Cause I got you, and you got me too.